governor, nothing is more important to me than seeing to it that we get criminals off of our streets, out of our communities, and behind bars where they belong.
Working under Governor George DeMage's strong leadership, Corrections has, since 1984, finished more than 13,000 new prison beds. But as we're all aware, it takes more than prison beds for an effective prison system.
It's like being here is like, you know what I'm saying, being dead. You know, you're on a metal slab all the time. You know, people come see you here and there. For the most part, you know, it's like you're in another world.
My daily spirits are not judged on what the board does to me. It's on how my wife and my family and my daughter, who's a college student, is how they're doing. That's what judges how my spirits are each day. As long as they're doing all right, I'm cool.
When I first got here, I planned on enrolling into some kind of educational or vocational classes, but haven't been able to because they don't have them. You know, and the people that they do let in class are the ones that haven't passed the 4th grade and stuff like that.
There's more action going on here in the prison system than I had on the streets. The guys on the streets just try to get away from you and just chase them down and lock them up. Here, they're already caught, so they're just fighting to be fighting.
Gang activity in prison system, it's just a way of life for some of us. You know, some of us come from a gang culture on the streets. Coming in here is pretty much the same thing.
I try to not involve myself in the little activities that go on around here. It's just, this place is made to stress you out, you know, to make you want to go crazy. It's just like caging up a pit bull or some wild animal. After some time, it's gonna lash out at you.
It's very easy to get, as they say, caught up, to get involved in other issues, because it's hard to just come here and just do your time. You have to be involved with a group, whether it be a gang or a religious group or, you know, it's something like that. You have to be involved. And here, the policy is, if, say for instance, the blacks have an issue and the blacks begin to riot, you have to get involved or, you know, they'll get you.
But you kind of joined the gang for protection. You know, they was like family. You wanted to belong. You know, most of the guys that was coming to prison back then came from dysfunctional families, had lived it, you know, on the streets. And as soon as they got to the pen, they just immediately hooked up, you know. And it was crazy, as Shannon could tell you. You know, stabbings every day. A lot of it was senseless. These prisons pretty much ran on fear.
Across the state, they got a lot of influence. Yeah, they got a lot of influence. That's what it's about. It's about influence.
It was basically, they already know you, they already know what you are, what you're about. So you don't have to do like an initiation rite or something. I mean, I'd already put in work. I'd already done some things in prison. I already knew what it was to be a skinhead. So, and that's why they offered me the position in the first place.
In prison, you have your 3 basic groups. You got your blacks, your whites, and your Hispanics. Then you got your others. Others are considered the Asians.
I've always been, like I said, attracted to the scene, punk rock music. When I came to prison, it evolved into a racial thing.
When you're in a riot with another race, or you know there's going to be a riot situation with another race, you don't have to be told to do it, you just do it. And if you don't do it, well, then you're going to be put in what's called the so-called hat, and they're going to end up stabbing you like they did me.
You know, we got our basic principles and policies we live by, and if you could follow those guidelines, you ain't gonna have any problems in prison.
What are some of those guidelines, policies?
You know, basic stuff that get people in trouble. Don't do drugs, don't gamble, don't cross race, you know, don't get involved in anybody's business when it doesn't pertain to exactly yours. And, you know, don't disrespect nobody and you'll be all right.
Serious, maybe something serious might happen once every other month. You know, it's not like it used to be. It used to be every day, you know, 2-3 times a day.
I don't really think you'd find anybody in that yard that wouldn't want to follow that rule. First of all, they wouldn't last, put it that way.
Anything other than being a snitch or being in as a child molester, rapist, anything other than that, to me, is not a stabbing offense. If you got a problem with another dude, go in the cell and fight like men. They don't do that. It's a no-hands policy. Everything's a stabbing offense. Nah. How is that bettering your race? It's unnecessary violence in prison.
You know, you see so many stabbings that it becomes clinical, you know, to the point to where it doesn't affect you anymore. As in the first stabbing I saw, you know, as a human being, it affects you. You know, you look at it, wow, man, he's got some stab wounds and he's cut open and there's blood everywhere, and man, you know, now you see so many of them, it's part of the job. You know, you just kind of pick up the pieces and roll them to the emergency room and patch him up and resume program.
If you don't run with the grain, you know, you're gonna get your wig split, you know.
So you never trust an inmate. You never get to a point where you relax yourself into believing that an inmate is your friend or that this inmate is an okay guy. You never get to that point. I've never met an inmate yet that I trust completely or I think is an okay guy.
The guy that stabbed me and got shot and killed was my friend. I knew him better than anybody on that yard. I've been at 2 other prisons with him here in California. And for him to come at me with a knife and try to kill me and watch him get murdered by the cops while he's stabbing me, that was a real wake-up call right there, you know.
We're finding in the prison system, the skinheads, ultimately a lot of the groups will not per se answer to the Aryan Brotherhood. A lot of them are breaking away and basically are making their own decisions, their own calls. And so that in a lot of prisons is an issue, which can start wars between their internal wars between the white race.
You're not telling me what to do. I'm not a prison gang. I'm not Aryan Brotherhood. I'm not a Nazi lowrider. My life's not about prison. You're not telling me what to do, which got me stabbed.
Me to retaliate.
He was a shot caller.
If you want to call it that. It was, I had the decision-making position, yeah. I'm not into all them prison cliches though, so shot caller, whatever, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I was left in position, and they said basically you need to figure out how you're going to retaliate. And I didn't think we needed to retaliate because we were in the wrong, you know. If you step out on that yard and you don't notice all the gun towers with guns sticking out and pointing at you, you deserve to get shot. You know, so we took that risk, and the guy gets shot, and then we're going to be mad at the cops for shooting us. But they told us, you do this, you know, there's a chance you're going to get shot in the first place. So, you know, I said, you know what, screw you guys, I'm out of here.
The whites usually program with the Southsiders. I always had a problem with that. Programming with another race.
How common is it for an inmate to come in here with a date and end up spending the rest of his life here?
I think that's pretty common. Yeah.
And if I got to come back to prison and come back to a yard like this, no, that's not an option. That is not an option for me. I'm not coming back to prison. I just want to be left alone for the rest of my life. I'm actually pretty antisocial now. I just want to be left alone.
When I think about, I mean, that's kind of scary to me sometimes. Where am I going to go at 51 years old? I mean, the last time I was out, I was robbing and stealing, living in motels and staying at mom's house every now and then, you know, just to get away from the drama, you know what I mean? And once I was all healthy again, a couple of days later with food in my stomach, I'd hit the streets again, you know? But when I get out at 51, I don't know where I'm going to go, you know? I sure as hell know my family will support me and what I do, but I mean, where am I going to work at 51 years old, out of prison, after doing 21 years off of 25? What am I going to do? Is the state going to support me? No. I have to figure out something. You know, I'm looking at the state. Hopefully they'll be able to send me some kind of education program, send me to a place where I could learn something, you know, and have some things lined up for me when I get out.
I'm waiting on the board, like I said, which is in a week, and I'm pretty sure they'll deny me, and they'll want me to bring them some trades. So I'll have to transfer from here somewhere where they have trades and try to work my way out.
There's plenty of help out there for people if they're looking for some assistance.
Since I scored high on my TABE test and stuff like that, they don't want to let me in class. They say I can read, I can write, I can understand what's being told to me. It's no use. You go to class, they don't even got a curriculum. They go by, they just give you a book and say, hey, study this. That's how it is.
We still, unfortunately, have too many that go out and commit serious offenses, and as a result, they have to be removed from the community and they have to be placed in facilities of this type.
Some say that even if you continue building at the rapid...
How close was the guy to you when he got shot?
About 2 feet, maybe 2 or 3 feet.
Wow, that must have scared the hell out of you when he went down. First he's scaring the hell out of you, stabbing you.
It was a very strange day. It's been almost 2 years, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was very traumatic. It was weird. I was at the time glad to hear the shot because I knew I wasn't going to get stabbed no more. But I didn't realize the consequences of it. I didn't realize that he was going to die when he got shot.